Bulletin says there were two Italian brothers who worked on the local fire station. One was called Hose B, and the other... Oh, here we go. Jose and Hose B. Yeah, but I think... Sorry, Alan, I think you've got that wrong, wasn't it? It was Mexican, wasn't it? Mexican.
Mexican's Jose,
yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, come on, Alan. I mean, I know it's been a long week and everything. Anyway, Andy in Rice Park says we had twins, a boy and a girl. We nicknamed Eggs and Bacon. 16 years on, our daughter has dropped the bacon, but we still refer to Lewis as Eggs or Eggsy. There we are. My girlfriend is called Sam, and I'm called Ed, and people call us Salmon Ed, Salmon Head, as a couple. Oh. Here comes Salmon Head. This is amazing. I had no idea. Do you know, I'll be honest with you, I didn't really expect that one to take off this morning. It just went completely mad. Anyway, Loose Ladies Time, and Lisa and Angela are both here. Hello. Do you have nicknames? Or do we just call you your proper names?
Well, I don't have any nicknames that I know about. Doesn't mean I haven't got any.
Now, by the end of the show, we've got to come up with a nickname for Lisa. What about you, Angela? Do you have...
Oh, yeah, my friend Morag, because her name was Morag, and I used to call her Less Cloth. Do you get it?
Morag, Less
Cloth.
Get it,
yeah, she all she could think of was Angular. And she still calls me Angular. Angular instead of Angela to this day. It's not great, but it's it's what I can it's all I can come up with.
But we were saying earlier on, the thing is though that these things often start at school.
Oh, they do.
Or in the workplace, and they stick.
Well, this was my one. I had a message 2 or 3 weeks ago on Facebook from somebody who used to be my school teacher.
Yeah.
Right from junior school, so we're going back a long way. And he actually called me Asil Trotwin, which is my name backwards. And I remember one...
Oh, that's the other thing.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, Asil Trotwin.
Asil Trotwin. It sounds like a character, I was saying, from The Darling Buds of May or something like that.
Yes. But yeah, that was something we did at school in a lesson, and everybody thought it was hilarious. And he'd remembered it from... must be 40 years.
Yeah.
Wow, God.
Ago.
I know my name backwards, which is Alegna. Which I think sounds like a sort of Lord of the Rings character.
Alegna.
Yeah, it does.
I think if you put your name backwards, you can sound like a Lord of the Rings character.
Cram.
That's like something from a Dickensian novel. Cram.
Ah, Cram! What are you doing there, sir? You know what everyone's going to be doing now? What's my name backwards?
I know.
And also, does it sound rude? Everyone's going to be doing that. You've started. I knew.
I've got a great story, but I don't know if it's a little bit too rude for BBC.
Well, I tell you what.
Morning.
Hang on to it for now, Angela, because I quite like working here. and maybe during a song, I'll be the judge of that.
Okay.
Oh dear. We were just saying as well, because another thing we've been talking about, obviously, with the People's History of Pop, 1960s, and all three of us were born in the 60s, so you were just saying you don't really remember them as such.
No.
Is it more the 70s that you
That's
remember?
when I have met. Yeah, I've got some memories from the 60s, but not of the 60s as a period of fashion or music or anything. I think it's
just more the backyard.
Yeah.
That's as far as it goes with me. I can remember the backyard.
Right.
I remember going to get an ice cream.
Yeah.
And for some reason, because I was 66, so I'm talking really young. And then my mother had, now this is very 60s, she had some plastic flamingos that went in the garden. And you stuck them in with like a spike. I don't know if anybody remembers that. They were so kitsch, so 60s. And my brother and I used to use them as weapons, and we'd chase each other around the garden with them. They're like stilettos. So, that's my memory of that's 60s to me. It's like kitsch, plastic pink flamingos. Flamencos.
My house is full of flamingos.
Is it flamingos or flamenco?
Yeah, flamenco is the dance.
Yeah.
Maybe you were doing the flamenco as you were waving the flamingo.
I often wave my flamingo.
I've heard about that. It's a Wollerton thing, though, isn't it?
No, I've moved now to Radford.
Have you moved?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a Radford thing as well.
Well, actually, I don't say Radford because I say Lenton Cusp.
Where do you live?
You told me Canning Circus.
I told Lisa Canning Circus.
Oh, there's when you keep moving around, woman. It's way too confusing.
I really must get somewhere permanent for my caravan.
They keep moving her on.
I was going to say, she keeps being moved.
I do.
I have no idea why.
It's outside in the BBC car park now.
Yeah, well, it won't be there for long, trust me.
I've
It'll be
put
clamped.
my washings up.
Might get very dry today, won't it?
And cats as well, because we were talking, I don't know if you know, it's Ask Your Cat a Question Day.
Oh.
True.
Oh, I saw that,
Do you
yeah.
have cats?
I'm allergic to cats.
Oh, so that's a no.
No, I used to have a cat, but then my friend had to foster him for a while, and then when I got him back, I was allergic. So
What? How are you allergic? What happens?
I get this sort of tight feeling here in my throat.
Furball.
My eyes start.
Sorry.
Yeah, my eyes start itching, and I sneeze.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes I can go into people's houses and be there for literally a couple of minutes, and I know without seeing that they've got a cat.
there's a
Other
cat.
times it takes a while longer. It depends on the cat. But
Right, okay.
yeah. So no, I haven't asked my cat anything.
No,
Well,
I have got
apart
a
from to
cat.
get out.
Yeah, get out.
Never darken my door again.
Yeah.
You got cats.
I've got a cat, Lily. Yeah, can you? You can tell because Lisa's just she's just picking off all the cat hair because she's white and I'm wearing a black cardigan. I might start putting a little pipette of cat flea drops on the back of my cardi. Oh, I should wear a cat flea collar because I'm absolutely covered in white hairs always.
If you could ask your cat a question, then what would it be? What would the cat's answer be?
What would Lily?
Sometimes
she's
you
a
look
rescue
at her
cat from
face and you
Ireland,
can-
so I always think she's got an Irish accent.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I think if she could talk,
Is it fish for tea, to be sure?
oh, feed me, go on, feed me.
Go on.
Show me stomachs and me backbone. Feed me now, would you?
Look in the tin, would you?
Oh God, is that really bad? I feel I can do that because my family are
I think
Irish,
so.
so
I mean,
I'm not.
Obviously, if we've
I can get
offended,
away with it.
if we've offended you as an Irish cat, by all means, write in. How you do that with your paws, I don't know. But
Jesus,
points,
I will for sure.
Right, that's right. Anyway, more in a moment. It seems to have taken a slightly surreal turn, but
It always does.
yeah. 9343434, the number. Text not sending message 813. Today, Lisa, who is a self-image consultant, and also Angela, who is an actress,
We don't know.
an author, and also she's a little bit warm. So in the background, you might just hear a fan.
No, I mean, this is a suggestion I've made since you've got Loose Ladies that happens every Friday. You need some menopausal equipment in the studio.
We've got one. We've got a fan.
We've got a fan on the go. We've got water. There's
Yeah.
coffee on its way.
Yes.
A bit of fluoxetine, Mogadon, that kind of thing. I'd be most welcome.
Bit of what? What are you talking about there? What was that?
Legal drugs.
Legal drugs.
Right. Well, are they?
Well, Mark, can I
menopause
just
thing?
say,
Sorry,
I
this is
told-
different language
No,
to me. I
sorry,
don't understand.
we're skipping. We're going from one subject to another. Now, I told you my rude story, and you said I can't tell it.
Yeah.
So I'd just like everybody to know it's a good one, but I'm not allowed.
It was very good.
That's
yes.
no use, because now people... Oh, what we need to do is maybe some kind of... on TV, you've got
Yeah,
ITV1, ITV2. We need some sort of BBC Radio Nottingham extra. So on DAB sometimes we put the rude bits.
Oh, that's such a great idea. And I think
I
me
know.
and Lisa and you, we could host the whole
Don't
thing.
count me into your blue
Filth.
gang.
Oh, because you didn't join in at all.
No, I'm rising above all of that. Chris has got a question for cats. So when you get it completely wrong and you fall off things, because they do, don't they? Cats look cool, but then they fall off the back of the sofa. Then when you walk away, do you walk away like the Fonz? They do that.
They
do. You know what I mean?
do, they
So
do.
They're up there
Yeah.
stressing like, boof, on the floor. Oh, nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Nothing
And they
to
just
see.
go
Yeah,
away.
really cool.
Yeah.
You're quite
Cats
right,
are
Chris.
cool, aren't
yeah.
they?
Yeah. Well, they like to
You
think
can
they're
kind of
cool.
hear the Fonz music. Is
Yeah.
there Fonz music?
That's Happy Days, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Happy days. Happy days. Maybe we should play Cool for Cats or something like that. Anyway, we'll see. So Lisa and Angela are here, amongst other things, been talking about nicknames, the 60s, all of that, and cats. I know one thing that you wanted to mention. This is to do... Now, I'm glad you brought this up. Phillip Schofield, Holly Willoughby, on TV yesterday. So the night before they won an award. Mm-hmm. And then they were on TV yesterday, still in the clothes they were wearing the night before.
Yes.
And they're obviously the worst for wear.
They were.
Stinking.
Now, do you think that is great fun, as I've seen people putting on Facebook, or do you think, actually, that's a little bit naughty?
I think it was funny. I've seen it. I didn't actually see the show yesterday, but I did see a clip I watched a clip on Facebook this
Yeah.
morning, and it did look funny. Whether it was professional or not is a different matter.
See, I must admit,
It was entertaining.
Yeah.
And, you know, we were talking outside, and, you know, we might have done that.
We've all done that, haven't we?
We might have done that in a very long time ago when we were younger.
I've done
Yeah.
that.
But it's whether it was professional or not is
See,
a
I don't
different
want to be
matter.
like, you know, Mr. Party Pooper or anything, but part of me can't help thinking that,
Would you do it?
no, well,
Would you turn up here
I don't think
in
I'll
all
be
your
allowed
radio
to.
glory?
No, I don't think I'll be allowed. That's the thing. If I turned up, obviously worse for wear, they wouldn't let me on the radio.
On air.
And the other thing is, I'm not saying this would apply to me, but if they're on the BBC, the Mail would have a field day with it.
Why the Mail?
would.
Just, am I being a bit tick here, but
What?
why the Mail?
Because they hate the BBC.
Oh, I see.
So if it was someone on the BBC, not saying it was me, but some proper celeb.
Well, you're a celeb.
No, don't be silly. But if they were on TV,
You're a celeb in our
You're a
eyes,
celeb in
Mark.
my eyes.
No, put the fan on me. No, but I just think, again, you know, and don't get me wrong, I'm not having a go at Holly and Phil, because I know a lot of people think they're great, but part of me thinks if that was someone else, they would get a lot of stick.
There was a theory on some of the comments
This is
that
what I
I
was
was
gonna ask,
reading,
yeah.
that it was a setup and that it was, you know, sort of a planned thing, because I think
Yeah.
they got changed a bit later, didn't they? But on the clip I saw, they did still seem drunk.
Yeah, they
She'd
did.
obviously had her makeup done and her hair looked lovely. She hadn't been, you know, she hadn't literally walked in from a party.
Do you reckon she had spare knickers in her handbag?
Oh, I'm sure they would have had
They
some.
must have had some BBC regulation, BBC knickers,
it's
break
ITV.
glass. Oh, is it? Oh, I see. It's like, oh God, I'm so out of tune with everything going on in this world. Well, they must have had then ITV break glass in case of emergency knickers. There must be some knocking around somewhere, or in the lost property.
Knickers knocking around behind class.
They have them in the wardrobe department. Spare knickers in case you've been out partying all night.
Can you
come to
remember
work
at
drunk.
PE and you forget your PE kit? And you used to get the
we
most
used to get the skanky
hideous.
ones.
Oh God, and they stung, and they were too
boys
big.
used to have to play in skins. Thank goodness you're not a boy.
Skins.
If
What?
you were skins, topless.
You're joking.
No. What about your shorts? If you'd forgotten your shorts.
Pants.
Yes,
You're
No.
joking. You can't.
I think so.
This is it. No
Pants
one-
and no top. I think so.
I
yes,
remember doing
skins.
PE in my pants and vest running
Yeah.
around, and I really did used to feel kind of quite, this is absolutely unacceptable. I was like that kind of child. This is
That would have been in the
humiliating.
70s.
It was.
Not the
Yes, because you'd
60s.
have popcorn playing. Do, 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 and you were like running around the hall, weren't you? In your
Music and movement.
Music and movement. You're a tree, you're a tree, you're a tree. Anyway, what were we
Music and
talking
movement.
about?
No idea. Let's move on. 11:30. It's BBC Radio Nottingham. You want to join in? BBC Radio Nottingham. I'm Mark Dennison. Loose ladies today, Lisa and Angela. In a few words, we've been talking about everything under the sun so far. Bless you. You all right there?
Yeah, I'm just
Choking.
in the wrong way.
Heimlich manoeuvre.
No, I think I'll be all right. I'm all right, thank you, sorry.
Okay. Amongst other things, mentioned about Holly and Philip Dida on TV yesterday, because the night before it was the National TV Awards. And by the way, did the pair of you watch that at all? No.
I watched the first half hour and then turned over for Corrie.
Right.
Oh no, was Corrie on before?
EastEnders?
I might have just switched off.
But anyway, you
yeah,
just-
no, I
I
watched
can't
a bit
bear
of it.
things like that.
Because I noticed that the ratings were really low. They were the lowest for quite some time.
Well, you know Ant and Dec are going to win something.
Yeah, and they did.
Yeah.
And that's where apparently Holly and Phil had been to a party with them.
Bad influence, the pair of them.
Yeah, well,
those
they look
Geordie
a bit
jokers.
cheeky.
Those
cheeky,
Geordie-
don't they? Cheeky
Yeah.
chappies.
Yes, it's all right for them because they only do a few months of the year. They'll do I'm a Celeb. They'll do Takeaway. They'll do Talent.
I think the thing is, we've all been in that situation. I mean, when I was a student, I once woke up in the morning wearing nothing but a fur coat with a helium balloon stuffed down the front of it. So, you know, I wouldn't be one to judge
No, I'm not
personally.
judging.
No, but at the same time, you know, come on, this is telly, and you're you know.
Well, let me read this. Jules in Shelford says Schofield. So you know it's serious.
Oh, you know, yeah.
No,
yeah.
no, Philip, no Pitt, no nothing.
No, Mister.
Schofield.
No.
Yes. Schofield came across as a stupid little teenager who's tried alcohol for the first time and wants everyone to know how grown up he is. The man is unburdened by talent. Ooh. Rant over. Okay, I feel like
I don't
we
think
need
he
to...
likes him, do you?
No.
Not a biggest fan.
I think we need to stand up for Phillip Schofield to balance this all out.
Do you know what? Phillip Schofield, I like him because he tweeted me back once.
Did he? What did he tweet?
Well, my fella was, I don't know how it came about, but my boyfriend wanted to know if he'd got a chopper, a grifter, or some other bike when he was a kid.
Right.
So he said, let's tweet him. So we tweeted him, and he tweeted back, and he had a yellow grifter.
Really?
A yellow grifter?
Yeah.
Phillip Schofield. So,
I thought he'd be
I
more...
thought-
Yeah, he is a grifter type. He's not a chopper type. Because
I
I
can't
think
remember
that,
what the
yeah,
other one
I mean,
was.
there was a hierarchy here back in
Okay.
the day.
How do you know?
I can remember it. I remember, I mean...
No, but how do you know what type people were?
Because they were just... People who were grifters were kind of a bit more... You were hardcore if you had a chopper. I mean, I had a chopper and I had one of those anoraks that did right up.
Snorkel Parker.
Yeah. So I
wouldn't-
was serious 70s hardcore.
You were. I wasn't
proper
allowed
cool.
one of those.
Yeah, proper cool.
Yeah.
I've never quite lived it down. I'm just, So a grifter type person,
I didn't have either.
gentler soul.
Didn't
Didn't have
you?
either, no. I remember entering a competition in the Beano to try and win a grifter.
Bless
Oh.
you.
I was desperate to win one. And I think I got a runner-up prize of a chew or something like that.
Oh, what a
Don't-
chew? Like a
bless-
penny
like a-
chew?
Bless you. No, a chew to eat.
A penny chew?
Something like that, or one of those bars.
Like a Haribo.
Yeah,
sort of.
like,
Yeah.
cheers for that. I wanted the bike, but never mind, I'll have the chew this afternoon.
That's
it's a bit of a
you
rubbish
poor
second
old
prize.
thing.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, maybe we could have a whip round.
I'm over it.
No, I don't know if you are.
I
I
don't
tell the
think he is.
pain in
Look at his face.
He's crying.
no,
There's
I'm-
tears.
I'm over it.
Leave me alone.
Anyway, if you want to stand up for Phillip Schofield, not literally, 934343434. Phillip Schofield walks in the room. Hey, attention, everyone!
Yeah.
That's royalty. Anyway, let's talk about something else. The zombie commute is in the papers today. 9 out of 10 people admit to being on autopilot each morning, and many can't remember their journey to work. The more you think about this, the more you will find it a bit scary. And a little birdie tells me you used to have a big commute, didn't you?
I did a long time ago. Yeah, I used to work up near Leeds, Junction 40.
Right.
And commuted there and back every day.
How far's that?
It was 140 miles a day.
Ooh.
Yeah, to Junction
lot.
40. Yeah.
Yeah.
And quite often I'd be at and I think, oh, how did I get here?
Yeah.
You do go into autopilot when you're doing something every day, and that's quite scary on the motorway. Quite scary as well. Yeah, so not something. I did it for 7 years actually. Yeah, it was a long time.
Every day,
every day,
full-time?
full-time job for 7 years. Yeah, it was it took an hour and 10 minutes on a good run, or an hour and a half
Yeah,
on average,
yeah,
and it
it's
was sort of like, do
still-
I move to Yorkshire or do I stay where I like living and stay in Nottingham and just suck it up? And that's what I did.
Yeah. But that's a lot of
miles,
isn't
it
it?
was a lot of miles, yeah. But
How do you pass the time, though, on journeys like that? What is it, music?
it was.
or-
I used to listen to the radio,
Yeah.
but also it's sort of a wind down time as well. When you're on your way back from work, you sort of, you need that sometimes when you've had a stressful day, or it's just that winding down.
Listening to music, picking your nose, that kind of thing.
I did see a lot of accidents, and to be fair now, I always think now when I'm stuck in traffic or on the motorway and you get stuck in traffic and you're thinking, and rather than it being an irritation, I just think I'm just really grateful that it's not me, having seen so many accidents.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I'm not very good at driving because I only really drive to Lidl and back. That's as far as I go.
And how much do you remember that little commute there?
So little, because I am
So
literally,
little.
my nose is pressed against the windscreen. I was going to drive here because I was actually late, because at 10 o'clock I was sitting in bed flicking between Facebook and eBay like you do with a cup of coffee, thinking I really should be somewhere this morning, and then realised it was actually at the BBC.
Good to see how important I am to you.
But I was going to drive here and I thought, no, I can't.
So what do you do? A tram or something?
I walked. Did you?
She ran.
I ran.
She was quite hot when she got here.
I was really hot. I was dripping.
Yes. Well, that's. I think you're up to date with Angela's medical now.
Menopausal stay. Any tips, please?
But that whole thing of being almost like a zombie when you're driving, it is a bit scary, actually, because the number of times I think, when I think back this morning, can I think about anything about that journey? No. And I think this time of year especially, it feels a bit Groundhog Day, doesn't it? You get up, you go to work, it's dark, I know that, it's wet, I know that, and it just merges into... Yeah. So on that happy thought, here's Pip Watts, who's with you after 12.
That's great.
You're going to cheer up Nottinghamshire.
Yay! Maybe I should talk about what I'm talking about in my second hour rather than my first. In the first hour, households in Nottinghamshire are facing the biggest rise in council tax in almost a decade. Now, this means an average Band D property will pay around an extra £50 a year. So would you be prepared to pay more council tax, an extra 50 quid a year then, to try to balance the books, or would you rather see a cut in services? Which services? Where would you make the cut? Be interested to hear what you think about this. Nottingham 9343434, or you can text NOTS to 81333. Actually, I just want to say as well, after 1 o'clock, we're talking weddings. The most surprising thing to happen at a wedding you have been to. Maybe it was your own wedding.
Oh, that's more happy, isn't it?
It is more happy. I thought I'd end on a happy note.
Surprising things that have happened.
Yeah. Go on then.
Well, my boyfriend dresses up as a stormtrooper, and last.
Sorry, is this for the radio?
Is this
Just because it's Friday.
Is this honeymoon material? Or?
No, this is.
That's a great start to a story.
Last summer he was asked to quite a few weddings as a surprise guest. At one he gave the bride away. That was a friend. Another one, it was all set up. None of the guests other than the bride and groom knew, and they had him walking in at the end of the ceremony. And then he's been invited to it was another wedding in Newark where he was invited and just turned up and started mingling with the guests when they were having the photographs taken.
And does he carry a weapon?
He has a
If
gun.
you don't mind me asking.
Matron.
He has a pretend gun.
Does he?
Proper, stormtrooper, whatever they're called. I'm sure there's a fancy name for it, but I don't know.
They did have guns, didn't they?
Yeah.
The little,
Yeah.
they didn't have lightsabery things.
No,
it was like a
stormtroopers
gun.
don't have
But
lightsabers.
it fired. Didn't the stormtroopers' weapons fire sort of like lightsaber type bullets?
Yeah, they
When
take points off your nectar card.
What? I think she's been with Phil and Holly at the party.
Oh yeah.
Out all night. I remember being at a wedding reception. I think I've mentioned this before. And I walked in, and the pianist is playing something quite inappropriate at the time. Bearing in mind it's a wedding reception, he's playing "Love on the Rocks."
Oh no, that's so
Neil Diamond.
funny.
That was a quite surprising thing. It was one of those moments where everyone sort of goes, "Is he playing that?" Why is he?
Do you think he was going through a hard time, or there was a
Maybe he knew
bitterness
something that we all didn't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. Psychic.
You're
pianist.
doomed. You're doomed. Anyway,
He's back to cram again.
And
surprising
they cram.
things. Yes.
Cram.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say it's because it's trending at the moment on the BBC website. This bride and groom that got married in New Zealand, a hacker appeared at the altar and performed a surprise hacker, and the bride's in absolute tears, but they do join in, and so that's what just got me thinking. I wonder what surprising things has happened at your wedding.
Okay.
So that's
12 BBC Radio Nottingham. Lisa and Angela, Angela, not Angela, by the way. Angela Merkel.
Angela.
That Angela
Oh,
Merkel. That's someone
yeah,
else.
God, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just thought of that.
It's a German version.
Dankeschön. Sharon from Barton under Needwood. Barton under Needwood.
What a great name.
It is, isn't it?
I went to a party there
Fantastic.
once.
Did you?
Yeah.
What, till
Barton
5,
under
6 in the morning? And then
No, somebody pressed the fire alarm and we had to evacuate the
dear.
church hall.
Right. Okay. Again, draw a line under that.
Okay.
Anyway, Sharon says, you forgot The Bachelor. We've been talking about the 60s. The Bachelors saw them at the Crucible in Sheffield. You can't do the 60s without The Bachelors, according to Sharon. Okay, fine. Well, we have now. We would certainly mention them. Nicknames. Mine came about in the early 50s. Peter Butterworth portrayed a character on children's TV called Chadwick Bugle. Brilliant. I mimicked him in some way. And the kids started calling me Chadwick Bugle, which eventually became Chadwick and then Chad.
Chadders.
Chadders! Cheddars! Hey, cheddars! Cheddars! No, it's Steve. Sorry, wrong person. Anyway, the person... I'm having imaginary conversations.
Yeah, I see what
with
you're
the chat.
doing. I don't
Anyway,
know. Yeah.
the only people that use my correct name are family members. See, that's the only... That's the other thing, of course. When your mum would call you down for tea, or when you were in trouble...
Yeah.
There was a certain tone of voice.
Well, I was Ange, but if I
Right.
was in trouble, Angela.
Angela! It was a certain tone, wasn't it? And sometimes
fear of
middle
God.
names would be used if that was really
haven't
serious.
got
That was.
one.
Haven't you got
No.
one?
You got a middle name?
No,
Lisa.
just, yeah.
Well, we've got to
Lisa.
think of one for you.
Lisa.
I used to
we call you?
I used to pretend I had a middle name
Did you
when I was
fib?
at school. Yeah, because
Yeah.
all my friends had middle names, and
What was it?
a lot of them were Anne. So I pretended my middle name was Anne for a while.
Oh,
And then I changed it to Marie, Lisa
Yeah.
Marie, like Lisa Marie Presley.
What's your surname? Newport.
Newport.
So we could
Yeah.
call you, and if we call you Indigo, then that makes Lynn, doesn't it? If you use it. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
fine. If you don't,
I don't-
like that.
no.
All right, I'm not offended.
Neither am I.
Great. So before we talk about something a little bit lighter, one of the more serious stories of the week is this whole business of English lessons, and it's been talked about for people that work in the health industry, for instance, and also English lessons for Muslim women. This whole debate about integration, does it help people integrate better? The whys and wherefores of that. What have you made of it, the pair of you?
Well, I used to live in Holland and I had Dutch lessons
Yeah.
because I wanted to integrate into society and obviously wanted to work and talk and speak Dutch because everybody speaks English. So I do understand it and I think it's a good idea, and you do become more part of everyday life, etc. If you can speak the language, of the country that you're in.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was a bit off just singling Muslim women, because there's lots of people that would benefit from this if we're talking, and there are lots of people that would sort of I'm sure would relish the opportunity, to learn English in the country that they're living in.
Yeah.
And I know, because my husband's my husband's Asian, and I know his mum didn't speak English, so we communicated with a series of hand gestures, etc.
Sign language.
Yeah, sign language. And she never had the opportunity because she was at home all day with 8 kids.
Yeah.
So, but then again, this is the problem. She didn't kind of need to, because within her community, within in the pocket that was her, Pakistan Muslim community, everybody spoke Urdu, so she didn't need to. But I wonder, would it have helped her? I think it would in some ways, and I think she sort of regretted the fact that she didn't, learn to speak English, and she would have liked to. And she's sadly passed away now. But I don't think. I think the mistake that Cameron made was to single Muslim women out, because there'd be a lot of people that would benefit from learning another language. And I'd just like to say also, there's some English people that could like to speak English too. Because I can remember seeing on Facebook, there was somebody with a placard, and they were like from the English League or something, some kind of racist sort of, and they'd written on this placard, "Learn our language if you want to stay here." And instead of learn our language, they'd written A-R-E. So, yeah, exactly. So learn our language.
Yeah.
That must apply to everybody.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
my thought.
Okay.
There we go.
What about you, Lisa? What do you...
Well, I think if you're working in a profession where it's important for you to be able to communicate to English people in their language, if you're working in the medical profession, say, then people need to understand what you're telling them. So there is a reason for that, but I don't think people should be made to do anything.
No. I think that's-
I've got friends who live in Spain. One of them speaks, I think he speaks fairly good Spanish. I don't know. He says he's not that great, but the other one gets away. They've been there a long time and gets away with a bit of what I call Spanglish, half and half.
Yes,
yeah.
But he's not needed to learn the language. But then they do mix with other English people within the community a lot of the time. Where my friend struggles is the conversational. So he can understand Spanish and he can read Spanish and he can speak Spanish to order things and communicate. But it's the day-to-day chit-chat. So like we're chit-chatting now and bouncing off each other.
You'd
He struggles
yeah,
to do that. So I suppose there are benefits of understanding a language from a professional point of view.
Yeah.
Whether it makes any difference in your day-to-day life, I suppose it depends who you're mixing with and so on. But I don't think anybody should be made to do anything.
I think also with your mother tongue, you're always going to be able to sort of like understand the irony and jokes, and you know, and you'll have that kind of freedom. Whereas I know when I was speaking Dutch, I kind of lost that. I lost my sense of humour, lost in translation. You know, which I kind of suppose is part of who I am. But it, and you know, because my Dutch wasn't that great, but. You know, but it did improve with learning another language. But like you said, I hate forcing anything onto anybody, saying you have to do this. That's what just doesn't feel right. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Not any message 81333 to text or give us a call 9343434. Just back to the 60s just a minute. Emily says, I know you can't mention every 60s star, but you can't leave out the Hollies. We haven't, have we? Well, we haven't now because we mentioned them. All right. And someone mentioned the Bachelors as well. Here they are. That's the Bachelors as promised on BBC Radio Nottingham. A couple of minutes to 12. Chris has been in touch, by the way, in Jessop's in the 60s. If you went there to get a job, and if someone already had your surname, you'd have to have an alias. I was Smith Field. My wife was Stevenson. When she got the job, it was changed to Steve. Oh, there we are. What to do with manual filing systems? All right, Steve. You don't look like a Steve. Now, very, very quickly, the pair of you. There's a thing in the papers today. So Lisa and Angela, Loose Ladies today, about what is happiness. It sounds very deep and meaningful, but basically what they're saying is happiness is a box set, i.e. watching one, and tidy socks. So what would the pair of you define as happiness? In a word. In fact, yeah, we'll make this a word.
Oh, one word.
Mine's snow.
Snow?
Snow.
Oh, no,
I love it. I love it. If it starts snowing, I go berserk.
So last Sunday, happy?
Oh, very happy.
Okay, all right. What
Very
about you,
happy.
Lisa? Happiness for you?
Getting into bed sometimes. You know, when you just get into bed, it's like,
Yeah?
that.
That is nice, actually.
Nice new sheets.
Oh,
that
clean
Yeah,
sheets.
clean.
Oh,
clean
beautiful.
sheets. Oh.
When they're a bit cool.
Oh, just to start off with, and you know they're going to warm up.
Oh. Right. On that note, steady now. Come on now. All right.
She's off again.
Oh, I'm off again.
I'm getting the look. I've got to go. Back in the morning though, if they let me. Early doors. That's tomorrow. Next today. Pit Watts.
How do I follow that? Households in Nottinghamshire are facing the biggest rise in